I'm here with Swindle Seasons and Swindle We Trust, and I'm joined by my guy Gerald Walker.
Yo.
Fresh off that release of that debut album, Target. We're gonna get into it, talk to him a little bit about the album and what got him here. Swindle Seasons. We in the car. I'm driving. Yeah. You in the passenger seat. Yeah. I hand you the trust magnet. I hand you the auxiliary cord.
Okay.
What's the number one? What's the first song you're putting on?
Man, that's a good one. It depends, man. If it's up to me, I'll probably throw on some Bone shit.
Bone Thug?
Yeah, hell yeah.
What's your favorite Bone Thug album?
Oh, Art of War.
Art of War?
Art of War. Or some Crazy Bone, Thug Mentality. You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ. What about Creepin'?
Creeping is hard, but the thing is about Creeping is it's only like 8 songs on there.
Yeah.
So you get through it and then you just listen to it over, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Art of War, that shit is an experience. You know
I feel like I like the stuff where Easy was alive. I feel like Easy had like I think we got to see like, because with NWA it was kind of weird because you didn't know really what his musical input was. So you could kind of see it with Bone Thug. You kind of seen like how he really influenced them and said how. But that's just me.
But you know what? Easy Does It. It's a great album. You know what I'm saying? Because if you listen like Easy spitting on Easy Does It, you can hear like Q.
Right.
You can hear Rain spitting for him.
Right.
Shit, you know what I'm saying? And then Easy was just, bro, he just had a unique voice.
That he did. You catch the movie?
Yeah.
How you like that?
The movie was good, man. I really like how they had the Bone elements in there too. Like they had the
I want to see way more than that's. As somebody who like studies it, I want to see that. I just want to see more Bone Thug. I want to see more, and I want to see more of the Dre Day beef. Like it was way more to that than what they showed. You feel me? Like they showed more. They showed more Cube versus them than they showed Dre. And I feel like that's you got the best. They didn't show nothing about Dre Day. They didn't show nothing about
he was eating on real motherfucking G.
They didn't show none of that.
That shit, BG Knockout and all them niggas.
They didn't show none of that. But yeah, you know.
I wish. The only thing I wish was that they'd kind of showed like Ice-T. You know what I'm saying? Because he was really the one that brought in the gangsta rap shit. You know what I'm saying?
They didn't make no mention of him. Nothing. It was crazy.
He had the first like major on some gangsta shit.
Exactly.
He kind of ushered that shit in. But whatever. I mean, you gotta really know your music to know that shit though.
Not a lot. Speaking of music, you just dropped the Target.
Yeah.
You just dropped that.
Yes, sir.
That dropped, or when did that drop?
September 22nd.
September 22nd.
Yeah.
That's the double album.
Yeah.
That's your debut album. So you debuted, because you had a lot of mixtapes. You had the 2 Christmas mixtapes.
Yeah, straight up.
You had the, Jesus Christ, I'm stuck. With the, what was your first joint?
Man, we had shit, man.
So many mixtapes.
We like 11 deep before we did an album, man. You know what I'm saying? So,
and it was in a short amount of time. Like, So how was that? Like, how was that process going from like, you know, quote unquote being a mixtape rapper to like dropping a double album as your debut?
It was crazy. It was crazy, man, because like with a mixtape you can do whatever. You know what I mean? But even like I had got a distribution deal with this company named Ingrooves.
Okay.
But even with Ingrooves, there's still a lot of yellow tape. There's still things that I can't do. You know what I'm saying? I still get smacked for like, you know, sample clearances and like copyright lawsuits that once the album's out, I still have to take care of and shit. So it's different, man. And like, they made me realize I always used to be one of those dudes that be like, yeah, this nigga a great mixtape artist, but his albums be like bullshit. You know
but now you understand.
Nah, see, it's just like, dude, it's so much that goes into making an album. It's so much, you know, clearances and like I said, yellow tape. That it's just, man, it's eye-opening.
Absolutely.
So,
well, with this, now with Target, with your debut album, what made you say I'm gonna do a double album?
Man, you know, growing up in the '90s, bro, like all my favorite artists did it. You know what I'm saying?
But nobody did it. Like, what made you say like this gonna be my first? Or did it feel like Or did it feel like it felt like it was nothing to drop a double album because you've been doing mixtapes?
No, it was hard, bro. It was the hardest project I've ever done. But, you know, I just love how Crazy Bone did his debut album. Was a double disc, Thug Mentality. You know what I'm saying? And as a kid, bro, like I had moved from Chicago to Milwaukee. And before I left, one of the homies had dubbed it on a cassette for me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So every night, bro, I'm in this new city. I'm just like, bro, I don't want to be here. All my family in Chicago.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Before I go to sleep, I used to throw that shit in my Sony Walkman, you know what I'm saying? I used to listen to that shit every night.
You remember when the battery used to die and it turned into like chopped and screwed?
Man, hell yeah, man. I remember
It'd be mad slow.
Man, I remember one time my mom had taped over it on accident.
Oh.
So like, I only had like the last 6 songs and shit. So it was just like, you know what I mean? It was bad, bro, but like, you know, I just felt like it was an experience, bro. But all them albums, dog, like Ready to Die.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Was it Ready to Die?
Nah, Life After Death was a double album.
Yeah. Life After Death. All Eyes on Me.
Yeah.
The Wu-Tang joint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Art of War. You feel me? I was just like, bro, like, that's the ultimate test, bro. Because, like, when you do a double album, it opens you up for filler.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
So, for me, the ultimate test of a rapper, bro, is like, can you make a double disc album with no filler? Or very little filler? Or make that shit cohesive? Jay tried to do it on Blueprint. What was it, 2.1?
Oh, Blueprint 2. Blueprint 2 was a double album.
Yeah. That shit had plenty filler on it. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion,
though. Start with me. We in New York, man. Come on.
I feel you, but you know, I think Jay the greatest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think Jay the greatest. So I'm not even trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Music shit like, but that's the point. Is just like Jay did it though.
Absolutely.
He did it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I gotta do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone gotta.
So
do
what's
the
what's the feedback been? What you been hearing?
Feedback's been crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, people are like, yo, this is the best one yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's my best project yet too.
So the single, No Hard Feelings,
Mm-hmm.
with featuring the family.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is the family, is that just your band that you're with now, or is that a collective group or something you got going on?
It's something I started. You know what I'm saying? It's a group of 9. It's a 9-member vocal ensemble that does all my background vocals.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So the girl featured, she's a part of the
family.
Okay.
Yeah. But see, like at the time when I recorded that, it was only like 3 members deep.
Okay.
So we was just like 3 members. We like 9 deep now.
And everybody's from New York, or you brought people from back home?
Like we had the 3 at the time was from New York.
Okay.
But now everybody back at the crib is like, you know, we deep. You know what I'm saying? I guess when people saw where I was going with it, you know what I mean? A lot of people don't get it when you explain it. That's why it's always good to just, you know what I'm saying?
Now that this type of, because you got a lot of melody, a lot of harmonization going on with your raps, and you do it together. You don't separate it. Like you're not just rapping, then you separate, and then you go sing. You do it together, very just a very melodic way. Is that? But I've noticed, because you're from Chicago, but it's very similar to the way Chance does and the way Vic does sometimes. Is that like a new thing y'all started, or is that just from the actual, from growing up in the Midwest and then having Bone Thugs and artists like that?
I think with those artists and them in contrast with myself, I think it's all like, it's just, it just happened that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it is because you said, like, those artists like Chance and Vic, they blend stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I blend stuff too. Like, I was doing it before they were, you know what I'm saying? But I can't even really say that because I got a record with Chance. You know what I'm saying?
Which is fire, by the way.
I appreciate that.
So that's fire.
You know what I'm saying? But, the way I do it is different from how they do it. You know what I mean? And it's just all because we just blend stuff together. So I would say that it's a Midwest thing. You know what I'm saying? So I've been doing it for a while. You know what I mean?
Right.
And obviously they probably, they got way more notoriety. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the kind of thing, like even back in the day with like Art of War. You know what I'm saying? They used to be like, y'all bit our style, and it's just like, man, we ain't really bite y'all style. We was really doing the same shit.
Absolutely.
It's just, you know what I mean? Who popped first?
And
But I attribute it 100% to the Midwest.
Absolutely. So that's just a thing. Okay. Because I noticed with No Hard Feelings, the video was crazy.
Thank you.
The video was crazy. Now, is that something you came up with, or was that the director? Like in the beginning, like when you open up, and it's like that stop animation almost.
Yeah.
Like that was crazy. How'd y'all come up with that?
Yeah, shout out to Quaz Frazier. That's my video director of that joint. It was 100% him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really know. Because it's not like I'm talking about anything specifically in that record. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, to me, it sounded like you was. It sounded like an ode almost to like where you've gotten. Like to me, listening to everything and then hearing that after, listening to everything in conjunction, it sounded almost as if it was like you know, I'm about to release my project. This is what got me here.
Yeah.
So like when you open it up, look inside my eyes and tell me exactly what you see. I'm like, so to me it's saying like, basically, look, I've been through all of this. This is what I've given you, and now I'm giving you this to support.
Right. Nah, you know what? It's just art, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I never really try to
dictate
exactly.
I was just reading too much into it?
Nah, man, I think you was reading into it exactly the way you should have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I believe that it's no right or wrong way of looking at it. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what you interpret it from my art, then that's what it is.
Okay.
And I'm not finna tell you that's not what it is, because that's what it is. You know what
So
I mean?
you don't go into a project with a quote-unquote with an agenda. You make actual like you make it, like they say music is subjective art.
Yeah.
You make it just for that. You just give somebody a piece of art and let them interpret it.
Yeah, you know what? It's just like, I try to be specific and vague at the same time.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because I try to lead people to where I want them to go, and then I just back out and let you. You know what I'm saying? Let you draw the conclusion of it.
Was there a lot of growing, like in your music now? Is it a lot, like were you growing up in the church a lot?
Yeah.
Because I could hear like sometimes with the harmonies, I could hear the riffs.
Yeah.
And, you know, I grew up in the church, so you know, that's the first thing you notice. Like, oh, that's a run. Oh, okay, I see what he's doing.
Like
so it's like, So was that like was that a big influence?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like growing up, man, I used to listen to this dude named Donald Lawrence and the Tri-City.
Of course, yeah, we know.
Yeah, that's like my favorite artist. You know what I mean? And then like Fred Hammond and
Of course.
But then Kirk Franklin and the Family. That's where we took the name of
the family from.
Right. So it's just like, I used to love how they used to have those backing ensembles. You know what I'm saying? But it's like for me, it was huge, bro. It just separated the music, and I was like, man, no one's doing that. You know what I mean? No one's doing that. As a matter of fact, like Chance, you spoke of him. He just brought Kirk Franklin out.
Yeah, that was crazy at the Pitchfork show. That was crazy.
Right. And the thing was, is like my shit was already out before then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Is just like, it's just that Midwest sound, bro. We just, you know what I'm saying? We just blended shit like that. You feel me? But no, like for me, it's, you know, those dudes. I was such huge fans of those dudes, and I still am. I still listen to that. You know what I mean? Right. It's just a lot of times you listen to Sunday morning mix. Nah, bro, that's like I listen to that now, bro. Like I pull up my joint right now. You can see it right now.
Got some good gospel joints.
Yeah, hell yeah.
What I do is what you got to do is if you ever driving with your friends and they all drunk, like I don't drink. So at the end of the night, when all my friends are drunk and they in the back seat, I just put on mad gospel music.
Just throw it like
so they can. You gotta watch them squirt.
Right. That's funny. That's hella funny.
But
yeah, but like I mean, you know, all that is gospel inspired.
Absolutely.
Man.
And you can hear it, and it's dope. Now what I like to get into is your message, right? So your message sounds like, you know, it sounds like more or less the I hate to say typical, but it sounds like more or less the typical backpack rapper where it's nothing conformed, but you're telling your story, right? You're just talking about growing up. You know, I heard you've mentioned, you know, your faith and your belief in God in some of your music. You've also mentioned, you know, relationship issues and things like that. Was it that hard to tap into that growing up where you grew up, or was it cool for you to be not a gangster growing up?
At the time where I started, I think Kanye kind of knocked down the walls of that a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like how NWA, like we just said, was talking about reality raps. It was the exact same shit. You feel me? So it was like, you know, for me, if I go through it, that qualifies me to speak on it. You know what I'm saying? If I never move weight, push weight, if I'm not in the streets, what's qualified to, you know what I'm saying?
And it's gonna be hard with your style of rap to like rap about moving keys. I don't see you harmonizing about moving keys.
Right. And that's the thing, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got homies in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Who really fuck with my music.
Right.
But then when they get to talking to me, like, yo, I remember when Jeezy first came. I got this homie. You know what I'm saying? He was locked up. You know what I'm saying? He was locked up when Jeezy came out. You feel me? And you know what I'm saying? When he got out of jail, he knew every lyric, because every he said when they was locked up, everybody was like, yeah. But then he said when he finally heard him, it was certain shit that he would say that was specific to the streets that he just knew about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So
it's just like you could tell,
like him in a different Yeah,
and he was like, it was like situations that he would bring up in his music that you know you had to be privy to the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You wouldn't get it. There's certain things you wouldn't, certain lingo or certain ways, certain things he'd bring up, and you wouldn't get it if you never been in the street or if you didn't have a connection to the street.
Right. So I just feel like for me, it's just if I live through it, you know what I'm saying? Like that qualifies me to speak on it.
Absolutely.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So like a perfect example, like, you know, I'm also an entrepreneur. I do shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, I really have to have my business mentality. So I make spreadsheets. I have to have everything up. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm adding up my money and shit, you know what I mean? Then I'm listening to like maybe Rick Ross.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He'd be like, nigga, I'm 50 wing stops up. I'm like, nigga, yeah, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like,
Rick Ross does a motivational tape.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, but it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like a line like that.
Right.
It's just like, yo, it makes you want to be like, yo, hustle, man, you get on your shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And just for me, it's just basically the same shit, bro. It's just, you know, you live through it, bro. That's your license to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. It's very simple.
So with your with the debut album, with Target, what's your goal? What are you hoping to get back out of this?
You know what? I don't know. I'm a firm believer that if you push it out into the end, you push out good shit to the universe, bro, it's just gonna come back to you any type of way. You know what I'm saying? In some type of way.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, bro, there's things, bro. I'm reaping seeds, bro, now from shit I planted back in Believers Never Die.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I'm just thinking like, bro, like, if that's the case with Target, bro, 2016, 2017, 2018 may be just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the dedication and everything it took me to put this shit out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, honestly, I just feel like it remains to be seen, bro. But what I'm looking for, man, I'm just looking forward to, you know, really, truly affect people, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, inspire people, motivate people, you know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Like, straight up.
All right, last two questions I want to ask you about. Number one, I want to get into this book,
the
Target Practice book, 52 Weeks to Complete My Album. So what is this, a how-to guide, or is it just, you know, you just, during the recording of this, like what happened, how'd this come about?
Man, you know what, man, everything, bro, like, I have to challenge myself, bro, mentally. Like, I just can't do the same shit over and over. You know what I'm saying? I feel like doing the same thing over and over is for young people. I be talking to my girl about this all the time. I'm like, you know, like, only young people can really do this. Like even if I got the group, the family, you know what I'm saying? It's only, my time with them is only so long. Before they'll be like, I can't do this no more.
Right,
you know
absolutely.
What I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, I guess for me, it was just like, yo, I have to challenge myself, bro. I already know how to put an album together. That ain't shit, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, do you have the dedication to sit and write and finish what you start? You know what I mean? So I just was basically taking game that a lot of the industry homies, you know what I'm saying, my family members, my friends, you know what I'm saying, gems that I just picked up along the way and just threw them into the book. It ain't like platitudes or nothing, bro. It ain't like, you know what I'm saying?
It's not The Alchemist or nothing, right?
Yeah. It's just like real shit that I learned. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully my fans can, you know what I'm saying?
And where could they find this?
Man, you can get that on my website at walkwithgerald.com.
Walkwithgerald.com. Yeah. All right. And then the last question I want to ask you is probably, it kind of intertwines what we were just talking about. So I've noticed, you know, I've been following hip hop for a long time, so I've noticed with the influx of rappers like yourself and other artists such as Chance the Rapper, Chris Casanovas, Vic Mensa, people who are able to make a lane for themselves without such a industry or a machine behind them. Sometimes it seems like they reach a glass ceiling, and then you kind of have to bow down or conform and sign a major. You feel like that? Is there a glass ceiling for artists like yourself?
No, man, because ultimately I feel like you define your success. You know what I'm saying? And there's people out there who define their success based off what other people think about them. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't necessarily like that. You feel me? I do care what other people think, but not to the point that I just have to compromise who I am to do some corny ass shit. You feel me? Or, you know what I mean? But like, for me, bro, like, I'm not hurting, bro. Like, you know, my finances is straight, bro. Like, so I'm not really in a situation that I feel like I need to give up control in a certain sense.
Right.
Just to achieve something. You know what I'm saying? And plus, like, I really like making the music that I make. You know what I mean? So,
believe me, there's a lot of people that like the music you make too, so it would suck to, you know, if somebody would have to, because I feel like on a major, we wouldn't have got No Hard Feelings, or we wouldn't have got Please Shut the Fuck Up, which but I think that was like 2 years ago, right? That was 2012, you released Please Shut the Fuck Up. That video is hilarious.
Thank you.
Like Shorty getting punched in the face at the end.
Yeah, it's my god sister. Shout out to Sheree,
But yeah, so like I said, we appreciate, you know what I mean, you having this out. You know what I mean? Appreciate your time.
Man, absolutely.
Definitely let everybody know where they can find you at on social media, all of that, where they can get this book, where they get this album right here, this double album.
Yeah. Yo, 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 it's your boy Gerald Walker, the Midwest representative, and right now you go get my album Target and my book Target Practice at walkwithgerald.com or Walk with Gerald, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.